And we're on.
Good morning, Jordan. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm pretty good. I think we've got something that's come between us here.
I agree. I'm like yelling to you across the.
This is our friend, Mr. Stability Ball, or Ms. Stability Ball, if you if you so desire. This is a modality that we have learned to love here, I think, in the fitness world. It has actually a very interesting story. It started out in the 1960s as a modality that was used in physical therapy centers. And it was actually called the Swiss ball back then. But it was developed by an Italian manufacturer, Aquilino Casani. So it started out in that light. And then in the 1990s, it was brought over to the U.S. and it was used in PT and rehab centers for some spine and stability extensions.
Nice. For our listeners, maybe we'll describe to them if they don't know what a stability ball is.
Yeah. Well, a stability ball is really almost an instability ball because that's exactly what you're trying to do when you work on it. You're trying to keep your center of balance stable as you perform many exercises, core and upper body, and also some glute bridges and hamstring curls. There's many, many different things you can do with it. And they do come in different sizes. There's a 45 centimeter, which is this one, and a 55 centimeter. And then the last one is the 65 centimeter. I don't have that one, but it depends upon your height. So the smaller you are, the smaller the ball, but most people average at the 55 centimeter. Right, Jordan?
Yeah. I actually didn't know all this. It's informative to me, too. I will tell you that I prefer them when they're a little less inflated because it's not as hard versus when they're at full inflation. They're harder to maneuver, for sure.
Well, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I I like them nice and firm because I feel like that does challenge a bit more, but I understand if you have a new client training on it for the first time, that could be a little wonky. So what I've been using them for with my training clients to start out with is actually doing some wall squats on the with the ball on their back, because that way I can see how deep they can go with their squat and how much they can hold it. And then add some weights as we go and maybe some heel raises and get that instability going there. And then I also like to do a lot of stuff on upper body, believe it or not, with them. I like to have the client sit on them and balance and lean back slightly while they work their core as they work their upper body with dumbbells. Oh, yeah. How about you, Jordan?
I use it a lot for core work. I typically use it for like crunches or plank to pikes or knee tucks. So, and then it's great for home gym. So if you do have a home gym, you don't have access to like all the things that gym would be. It actually works great, as you said, as like a bench, because then you have to stabilize as you're working, upper body or lower body. It works as a great stabilizer.
No, absolutely. And I have to admit, I was a little bit late to the stability ball party, I guess you should say. But now that I've been using them and training clients with them for the last handful of years, I absolutely adore them. I find that they really, really do give a great core burn. And from there, you're just burning so many more calories and chiseling out even faster. So I actually, I enjoy them a lot. And I'm going to actually reference an article if you guys are kind of like nerds like me that love to go online and do a little Googling. There is an amazing article on the Nutro One, that's Nutro 1 website. And it's Neutron Stability #ball #workouts. And it's entitled 10 Amazing Stability Ball Workouts for Ultimate Core Strength. So I highly recommend that. We will, on this episode, definitely hashtags. You can reference this article. But it gives you amazing different exercises to challenge yourself and learn from and then utilize yourself. Have you been doing anything lately else with the stability ball, Jordan?
No.
Jordan is so busy teaching. She's probably lucky she's
I've been utilizing chairs lately,
Yeah, she's been using chairs.
Yeah.
The point is that we didn't bring this one up on our first modality because I feel like it's a little bit more advanced. You really do, you can do different things that are easier with it, but I feel like it requires a bit more core stability before you really can get on it and feel comfortable. But the most important point is to try to challenge your body every time you work out. So the stability ball is definitely there for that.
Yeah. Have you ever been on it and then it's gotten away from you? That's always embarrassing.
That is definitely
It's like this
embarrassing.
rolls out and it's like you just back plant on the floor. It's happened to me a few times at the gym. So
It's very forgiving, but not very forgiving. It can be a little embarrassing, that's for sure.
Yep.
But anyway, so this is that. And we also have a couple of little friends here. These are our kettlebells. And I recently brought these into my little home gym. I have a 10-pound and a 15-pound one. And believe it or not, these were first used way, way back in ancient Greek times by the gladiators. So that was kind of kind of wicked. And then from there, in the 1800s, they were used in Russian markets as a way to measure and weigh things, sort of as a scale. And then from there, laborers and farmers started to adopt them to do some swinging and strengthening movements with them. So they're very much sort of history-oriented, if you will, the kettlebell. And we have a Russian person, believe it or not, his name was Pavel Tsolin, my Russian's not very good, in 2001, who actually brought them to the U.S. because they were pretty much a Russian modality for many years. So they really haven't been in our country for a long time, basically under 25 years. But the thing that makes them different from an actual dumbbell is their center of gravity is here in the middle. So it takes a little bit of getting used to when you work with them. You can do anything with a dumbbell you can do with a kettlebell. So, for example, if you're lunging, you can add them to the lunge to unstabilize and make it more challenging. You can curl with them. You can sumo squat with them. You can deadlift with them. You can do core. You can do halos around your head and work your core and your upper body. So I've added them recently, and I'm going to reference an article that I really like. It's from self.com, and it's 15 kettlebell exercises that will work every muscle in your body. So I cried like a baby when Self stopped publishing in print way back in February 2017 because I was a huge Self lover. So now I'm always online seeing what they have. So I had a client recently that wanted a full kettlebell workout. So I referenced this article, and it really gave me a whole bunch of information. And now I'm kind of loving the kettlebells, Jordan.
And, I think some people were probably looking at this, and to your point, it's like, what makes it different? What is the difference between a kettlebell and a dumbbell? And, it's like Colleen explained, there's the center of gravity versus a dumbbell has weight on either side of it. So it does kind of isolate the muscles in a different way versus if you had a dumbbell, there's weight on either side. So it's a little bit more stable. But there's a lot of great exercises with kettlebells. And I'm sure, you guys out there maybe have heard or even taken a kettlebell class. I know, Colleen, you used to love those and take those.
I did because I wanted to learn more myself about it because, as I mentioned, they are a newer modality. They've only been here stateside since 2001, thanks to our Russian friend, Pavel.
So I think it's a good way to kind of mix up your training. If you've been utilizing a dumbbell for something, try it with a kettlebell, and you could probably honestly feel the difference in between, say if you're doing a tricep overhead extension with 2 dumbbells and then try it with a kettlebell, the grip's a little bit different. So you're going to be feeling the exercise is going to feel different than it did before too.
Right. And also like a kettlebell row, I find myself trying to stabilize even further because that center of gravity is wanting to pull me over to that other side as I'm pulling up and rowing. And even with planking, if we're doing pass-throughs on a plank, you really have to stabilize even further because the center of gravity, again, is in the middle and it kind of offshoots you to the other side. So it's definitely a game changer. I'm glad I have been working with them and learned more about them over the last few years. And again, in this particular episode, we will definitely hashtag the Self article because it's extremely helpful and knowledgeable for all you out there that want to start training with them.
Yeah. And also if you need to know kind of like the setup or the grip, there's lots of great YouTube videos out there too that kind of demonstrate where your hand should be for certain exercises because it is different from training with a dumbbell.
And the other thing you have to pay attention to is when you start to sweat, if you don't use gloves, I do use training gloves myself, they can get very slippery. and basically talking about things flying in the gym. I have seen a few
Oh my
people
gosh.
doing some kettlebell swings, and all of a sudden the kettlebell is like in the next studio over.
Oh my god.
It's actually not funny, but really it's true. It's just sort of one of the little precautions that I like to talk about because they are pretty and shiny and they do get sweaty very easily, and you can lose your grip if you're not using some workout gloves. So that's one of the things that I think is important about that. And I'm just trying to think what else we can talk about with the kettlebells. Basically, as Jordan was saying, anything that you can do with a dumbbell, you really can do with a kettlebell. It's just going to be, I think, a bit more challenging
Yeah.
because of that center of gravity in the middle.
I mean, there's some great classes out there too that you're getting the strength and cardio because again, that swinging gets that heart rate up a little bit. But it kind of combines the strength plus cardiovascular endurance all in one together. So it's something great to have at home or even get familiar with for a training prop.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was doing some more online research because now I'm getting a lot of training clients that want 30-minute workouts because they're in that much of a hurry. So I really have to get my feet wet on those and try to move things along, which is a challenge for me because I tend to like to work out much longer, but I understand people are under time restraints. So there's several workouts now that show you how to work out in 30 minutes and hit every body part with a kettlebell, and you will sweat. So I will reference that as well in this episode, so you guys can check that out, those of you who are interested in moving your workout along quickly and still hitting every body part. So I think for me, they've been very humbling. I don't know about you, Jordan, but I kind of still at this stage, training all my life really, I struggle a bit with them. I find them a little bit, a lot challenging, and especially, you have to watch your form immensely because you can throw a shoulder out, you can, all of a sudden overextend a hamstring, hyperextend quickly if you're doing a deadlift with one. So for me, it's humbling.
Yeah, no, something again, give it a go and see what you think. It feels way different than training with your standard dumbbell. And some of the exercises you can use a little bit of momentum to kind of get that full range of motion, which is kind of like the kettlebell swing.
Right.
But they're great to add into the mix for sure.
No, absolutely. And, they aren't that big. Obviously, it depends upon the weight. This, again, is a 10 and this is a 15-pound one. But, they're easy to store in a home gym. Obviously, you can't take them out on the road with you. But a lot of gyms since 2001, thanks to our Russian friend, do have them. So they are found very commonly now. So that's a good thing. But the most important thing is with modalities, as we spoke about in a previous episode, is to build up to them. Sometimes I feel that people feel badly about themselves because they can't perform a movement correctly with a modality in hand. The most important thing is to do it body weight first, master that, and then add in the dumbbell, the kettlebell, or the stability ball because, I don't want people to get the false impression that it's easy because it's not. And form is always the most important thing because you don't want to hurt yourself. And that's really key. I've seen a lot of people do some funky things with these modalities at the gym, and I'm thinking to myself, I hope they were okay the next day. I was a little concerned myself.
If you want some open entertainment, just go to your local gym. Always.
Absolutely. But, if you guys have questions or if there's some particular routine that you've been doing with either one of these modalities, we'd love to hear from you. I'm always willing to learn from others as I like to train myself others. So please feel free to comment and chat about it. We would love that.
Yeah, we haven't got any comments yet. So comment below. We want to hear from you.
Absolutely. And here I am back again because in case you didn't notice, I love my supplements. So we will now take time to put Mr. Stability Ball away and let him or her rest over on the side as Jordan. Hi, Jordan. Here we are now.
Here we are.
So again, we are not registered dietitians. We are NASM trainers, National Association of Sports Medicine, but We do believe in supplementing to enhance our training and to make us feel good and look good and stay healthy. So I just kind of want to continue on this episode because I do have a lot of supplements that I talked about last episode, but I'm not done yet. So I will show you my number one favorite, which is magnesium. This one is magnesium glycinate. And the reason I added the glycinate is because it does help to make you more sleepy at night. I take these at night because of that fact. I'm having a little bit of sleeping issues this time of my life, but magnesium is a really important macro mineral because it helps to break down protein more efficiently, helping with muscle formation and function, and just giving you overall energy production. So magnesium is just key. It gives you a lot of power to your muscle, and it also helps to maintain heart health. And the other thing that I like about it is it helps to maintain strong bone and bone density, and it can, as you age, especially as a woman, help to prevent osteoporosis. So magnesium is probably my number one most favorite supplement at the moment. And again, the glycinate does help make me a little bit sleepy at night, so I do take this before bed. You can find this in foods such as spinach and salmon, tofu, black beans, bananas, chia seeds, almonds, cashews, oats, avocado, and quinoa. So you can get it in diet, but my opinion is that you can never have too much magnesium.
Is there a brand that you like that you find that is more efficient than another? I mean, sometimes brands don't really matter, but from some products, I think the quality of the ingredients can be.
Yes, this one's Nature's Bounty. I believe the reason I got Nature's Bounty, first of all, because it was labeled high absorption on the label. Not every supplement you have and get will say that. And that's really key, I think, for me. And I'm sure Jordan would agree. You always kind of want to look for the fact if you're going to invest in a supplement, is it being absorbed by your body properly? Because, of course, that's the reason you're taking it. So this is Nature's Bounty.
And then also taking a look at the milligrams based on what your body needs, because everybody's a little different as far as, what milligrams they need.
Right. This one is 240 milligrams, Jordan. And I take 2 because I aim for 500 every night. And again, the glycinate helps me feel a little sleepy. And here's a fun fact that I didn't even know. I just found this out. 1 ounce of dark chocolate has 15% of your daily magnesium needs. Wow. So for all of you out there, there's another little plug for taking and eating and enjoying dark chocolate. A little square of that is going to help you get 15% of your daily allotment of your magnesium.
Amazing.
Isn't that amazing,
What
Jordan?
if you don't like chocolate? Eat your spinach instead.
Who does not like chocolate, especially because you're going to get a health benefit from it. So enjoy magnesium. Now, this is my D3. My vitamin D3 is a fat-soluble vitamin that can help strengthen bones, support cell growth, and it helps calcium absorption. And it also improves immunity and gives you energy boost. So I take 2 of these. These are 50 milligrams, so that would be 100 milligrams. And I find that it's helping my skin, almost like I was talking about biome in the last episode, one of the benefits of that. I feel that vitamin D really does help to support cell growth, and it really does help to keep a beautiful complexion, if you will. It is found in salmon and mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms, which are actually delicious, and milk and OJ.
Ooh.
And unfortunately in liver. Now, Jordan, I don't know how you feel about liver, but I can tell you that I'm really not a liver person.
I know people that swear by it. I just it would be one of those things on Fear Factor. I'd have to be after some big bucks for you to convince, or it'd be like the Fountain of Youth. If you're you will not age if you eat liver, I'll totally eat it. But
okay. I'm not sure about any of that. I think you'd probably have to pay me a large sum of money, tax-free, for me to consume liver. But I will consume my salmon and my shiitake mushrooms happily and gladly. And in the meantime, consume that supplement, vitamin D3. So, and now I'm going to go into the vitamin B supplements. So vitamin B12 is something that I recently added to my repertoire. And the reason is because it really helps with brain and nerve function. as we age, and especially now for me in my stage of life, brain fog becomes real. And trying to remember everything and keeping healthy in the brain for cell production is crucial. And it's something that I wanted to take as a preventative. Unfortunately, my mom does have dementia, and I'm trying my best to prevent myself from going down that path. So, doing some research and speaking to my doctor, they mentioned to add vitamin B12, so I decided to do that. So it does also help with red blood cell formation, DNA synthesis, and again, proper brain and nerve function. And it also helps to convert food to energy, which of course is so important, right, Jordan? I
Yeah.
mean, anything that we eat, we want to have it make us feel energetic.
Right.
So that's a huge thing. And it is found in meats, red, which I don't enjoy, but lots of people do. Fish, which is great, seafood, and shellfish. So that's wonderful. Those are some of my favorites. And also in dairy as well as eggs. So, you can find it in your food, but I think it's also good if you want to supplement it. You can't, as a water soluble vitamin, from what I have learned through courses and my own research, you can never have too much of that. Wouldn't you agree, Jordan?
And I mean, some people are deficient in it, which is why the supplement's great. I know there's also dropper variations of it. If you're like me and you're like, I love all the liquids, just put it in my water.
I know she's the liquid girl here.
I know. It's like I just it's easiest for me to consume it that way. But I know that they also make them in like a liquid format, but definitely something that over time you need to check out, because people, again, if your diet's inconsistent, maybe you're not getting all the nutrients you need. You might be feeling a little off. That might be that B12 deficiency.
Absolutely. And then to continue on with our B vitamins, this is a compound super plus B complex. And this includes B6, which is really important. It helps the metabolism of protein, carbs, and fats. And again, it helps in nerve function, cognitive function, and hormone regulation. So ladies, any of you out there that are 40 plus, hormone regulation is key. So you're going to get that in a vitamin B6, and a complex of it is going to even give you more. So I highly recommend the vitamin B family. So B6, the complex, or B12, or both. I personally don't feel that you can take enough of vitamin B. So
yeah.
I mean, and again, I'm not a red meat person, but you can get them in other forms of your food that we discussed. So that's key too. And then for me, as I also age and keep training the way I do, which is pretty hard, here's our friend, Mr. Glucosamine. And glucosamine supports joint health. It slows the breakdown of cartilage in the joints, and it also can reduce pain and swelling. So that's key when you're training hard, or even training to some degree. It's really important to make sure you're supporting your joints. You're trying to avoid injury, and as I've mentioned on a few episodes, I blew my knee out pretty badly a couple of times 2.5 years ago. So it's only since then that I decided to add glucosamine, and my doctor, my ortho, recommended it to me. And knock on wood, it's actually been helping, because you cannot find glucosamine in foods. You can get it a bit in a bone broth, but not to great amounts. So glucosamine.
And I do think too, if you're an avid runner, when I was in my 20s, I used to be a huge runner. And when I was training for a half marathon, I was taking it. I was probably like 26 and I was taking it just to kind of protect the joints.
Have you gone back to considering maybe taking it? Because you train hard, so.
Maybe. But I mean, even with weightlifting, you just have to be mindful of that and protect your limbs. So your joints, you find them throughout your body, and we work with a lot of impact. Even with low impact, you're still putting some impact on your joints. So really important to protect those.
No, absolutely. And as I mentioned, because I injured myself so badly 2.5 years ago, I really have to watch it now, because I would like to avoid knee replacement surgery.
Yeah.
as long as possible. So it's important. So the next one I think that's also important, speaking about bone health, is calcium. So this is our friends from Kirkland, of course, Costco brand, which the other one was as well. This is 600 milligrams of calcium. And of course, calcium can be found in dairy products. We all know that. But it really is important for bone health and to maintain bone density. So it also helps in muscle contraction and relaxation, as well as in blood clotting, which are two things that I did not know because I'm kind of a quadruple A personality. So anything that can help in relaxation, I'm on board for. And, the blood clotting is very, very important. So, of course, again, you can find it in foods and drink. Milk and even OJ now can be fortified with it, and cheeses and yogurts. But I wanted to add calcium. Again, my stage of life, worrying about brittle bones, even though I train hard and that's not as likely. I'm trying to avoid any kind of osteoporosis in the future. Now, this is an interesting one. Let me try to grab her. This is theanine. And my doctor told me about this because, again, I'm struggling a bit with restlessness and sleepy, not going to sleep for a long time, sleeplessness. So theanine is an amino acid that are found in tea leaves, especially in green tea, and it improves sleep quality, reduces stress, and it also boosts focus and attention. And it protects against neurodegenerative diseases and cognitive function, which again is key, as I was mentioning earlier. So theanine is something that I have added with my before bed routine with my magnesium glycinate. And this one's cute. This one is by Douglas Laboratories. And you can also get it in green tea if you drink a lot of green tea. I'm not a green tea drinker. So I'm happy that my doctor did tell me about this because it has helping me with a little bit more sleep help, for lack of a better word. So, Jordan, when you get to be a little bit older and you're having more sleep issues like me,
I can't
maybe,
wait.
maybe you might want to add theanine.
I feel like
or you can add it now.
Human cat. I mean, I have no issues. You tell me to go to sleep, not a problem.
I'm so jealous.
It's bad. I was like, I sleep like at least twice a day.
That's amazing.
Oh.
God bless you. I almost want to worship you right now. That's amazing. Okay, and then something else that I take here is buffered vitamin C. And buffered vitamin C is less acidic than regular vitamin C. And this one is mixed with potassium and magnesium. Again, my friend magnesium, you can't get enough. So this is it's done by Allergy Research Group, this particular brand, which I will hashtag in the bio. But my doctor told me this was the best brand. And the reason buffered is good is that it's less stomach upset. It gives you less acid in the stomach because sometimes vitamin C can be a little bit acidity in your stomach. So, and this also, of course, is going to support immune system, and it helps collagen synthesis and skin elasticity. So again, anything to help the epidermis as we age. So do you take any vitamin C? I can't remember.
I put it on my face.
I did, yeah.
Fun fact, if you add vitamin C to your skincare,
Yep.
it actually provides a thicker barrier. If you put it underneath your SPF before you go out, it actually gives you more resistance against the sun. So whether you consume it or put it on or both.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
I do both. I use ROC, which is a little, it's a great skincare line, and they do have a vitamin C one that's a sunscreen. So I put that on. I love it. But that's buffered vitamin C. And then second to last is our friend Mr. Turmeric. And turmeric is actually an antioxidant, which is known as curcumin. Okay, and it has been shown to reduce inflammation, and it can help in pain relief. And it is found in a lot of ethnic foods like curries and stews and rices. This is a little messy. It is a powder and it's orange, so you have to be very careful. One time I took one and I looked in the mirror before I went out, and I thought, why do I have orange around my mouth?
Oh no.
So it is a little messy, but my ortho recommended this to me after I blew my knee out, and having turmeric has been a game changer for me. It's made a big difference. I'm getting so much less joint pain along with my glucosamine. So, turmeric is a great option for those. Have you been thinking about taking any turmeric?
I've had it in smoothies. But I've heard also it's good for like your immune system, for inflammation, all of
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Mhm.
No, it's definitely good for that. And last but not least, let's see if we can find it. Hopefully, I brought her, and I did. And Jordan talked about this on the last episode because we're both big believers in zinc. Okay, again, zinc can support immune function, it reduces inflammation, again, more skin support. And also, as Jordan mentioned on the last episode, it does promote wound healing. So if you have injured yourself or you are getting any kind of skin work at the dermatologist, that will help. And the other thing I recently found out about it is that it does have hormonal balance and regulation of that, and it also does support cognitive function. So I believe that you do take this as well, as I recall, and we both love it.
It prolongs the life of your Botox.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, win-win here, you know?
And it is found in oysters, which I'm not a liker
I love
of those.
oysters.
Okay, well, there you go.
Except right now, I'm sure you guys have heard these people are dying from eating oysters.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, there's like this flesh eating stuff going around. But anyway.
Ooh. So yes, and oysters, beef, chicken, lamb, seafood, and shellfish, eggs, milk, and cheese. So you can get it from your diet, but I think Jordan would agree. Zinc, you can never take too much of it. This is again from Nature's Bounty. I tend to like this line a lot because again, it's 100% absorption. And that's important when you're taking supplements. So that is it. I promise I won't bring on any more supplements. I do take a lot, as you guys have seen. You know, there's a lot of schools of thought on that, but for me, it's what works and it's what's helping me as I age and keep at the level of training that I want to keep at. So, and try to stay healthy.
Yeah, do your research, see what works for you. Talk to your doctor, of course, because everybody's so different, and like obviously lifestyle and age and components of genetics. So, do the research, see what works best for you.
And please, maybe message us and say what's working for you.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that. We'd love to do that.
Again,
we'd love to learn from anyone and anything that you have to share. Be amazing. Part of the reason I think Jordan and I wanted to do this podcast was because of our love of fitness, but also we wanted to share our ideas and also make it sort of like a communal thing where people can share back with us what's working for them. So only way to do that is either message us, a fit girl and her dude, or me, Colleen Fit Pro, on social media, or directly into where we load our episodes on FitBell's YouTube channel. That would be awesome. And again, I'd like to remind everyone that our charity of the month is Tunnels to Tower, or Tunnel to Towers. I shouldn't put the S on it. And tunneltotower.org or Tunnel to Tower Foundation, supporting first responders from the time 24 years ago, which was very detrimental in our country's history. So we're trying to make a difference in many ways. And when you feel good, you want to do good. Right, Jordan?
Yes. And then remember the link, because YouTube, until they I don't know what the word is, until they find out we're not scammers, I could not put the full link in our bio. It wouldn't let me. It just said we needed to be like verified, just to know we're not scamming you guys. So yeah, check that out. And then on our next episode, we'll just talk a little bit about what next episode's gonna be about.
I believe, Jordan, we're going to talk a lot about walking.
Yes.
And we have a lot of beneficial information that will be interesting to many people, that it's an amazing workout. You can make it harder or easier. You can make it as long as you want. And I think that's so important. And you can do it anywhere, which is really key.
Yeah. And there's all these walking trends, which I will be talking about. There's this one called Japanese walking. I don't know if you've heard of this or not.
Oh, that's interesting.
I've not heard of that one. We'll circle back to the weighted vest. Mm-hmm. So, next episode we'll be talking to you a little bit about that and the benefits, and again, like what Colleen was saying, how we can make it easier or harder based on your fitness level and what you want to accomplish.
Exactly. Getting those 10,000 steps in. Although recently, Jordan, I saw they're saying even 7,000 steps is key. I've read, changed a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's
seen that?
Based on, I've been reading, it's based on, some people need more steps than others. So,
okay.
Yeah. So
the most important thing is to move, right, Jordan?
Absolutely.
We are just fitness fanatics in a good way that really believe in movement for mental and physical well-being. So we really appreciate you listening to us and messaging us, and we hope to see you the next time.
Yeah, so tune in with us next week. If you have any questions, comment below or find us on Instagram, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your week.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Cheers.
Cheers.